Let the galaxy burn. Abaddon the Despoiler, War Master of Chaos. Hello everyone, this is your host Legend, and welcome back to my channel. This is the continuation of my Zero to Hero series on the game Warhammer 40k Tacticus. My run is not concluded until I have built up one of the 4 Guild Raid meta teams to Diamond 3. When we last left off, I had just finished Indomitus Mirror Battle 20 and stalled out on Battle 21. I said I was going to unlock the fall of Cadia off camera, and I have done just that. Alongside this, with the Mythic Celebration, I managed to unlock Exeter Row, Actus, Athena, and have leveled up some of my characters that I had already unlocked. I want to take a moment before diving into the next campaign to explain some things about early game progression. Something to remember is how critical it is to avoid looking into the Guild Raid meta too early. I know this sounds counterproductive to this challenge, but let me expand on this. In the early game, it is easy to get caught up on who and what should be leveled and what our priorities are supposed to be. My best suggestion when starting out is to prioritize things in this fashion. First, we will prioritize our critical campaign characters. These are characters such as your carries like Bellator, Aleph Null, etc., followed by the other core characters such as Tagoras, Immospec, and etc. Second priority is not Guild Raid characters. I would suggest actually taking some time, finding a character you love and are very interested in, and prioritizing them. For my main account and my preferences, this was Malladus, the Death Guard Blightlord champion. I just loved everything about the character, his kit, his role in the game, and how he is stylized in Tacticus. To me, this is the most critical part for any new character. That finding a character you like, leveling them up so that you have something that you enjoy. This is a game after all, and you should do things that help you to enjoy the game. Don't be afraid to level up a character you like, especially in the early game where your impression of the game is building. For my Zero to Hero run, I ain't doing this because I already know and enjoy the game deeply. I have played for over 2 years now, but I wanted to share this because this was something that helped me to stick to the game when I was just starting out. Only then is our third priority a Guild Raid meta team. And even then, I still would suggest not overly worrying about it at this point in the game. If you unlock them, cool. If you don't sweat it. You will get there in time. Just try to enjoy the game where you are now. Between last video and this video, I took the time to grind out the characters I needed to unlock a new campaign, the Fall of Cadia, which sees us taking control of the Black Legion as they make planetfall on the fortress world of Cadia during the 13th Black Crusade. In this campaign, you can deploy any Chaos-aligned unit, but must deploy Hurricane Worldclaimer, Master Archimedos, and Dark Fuss Angrax. All 3, their abilities, and their traits are pictured on the right. I want to take a moment to point out their faction trait of Let the Galaxy Burn. It allows them to potentially gain another hit against Imperial and Xenos units. Well, at least it did. This video was recorded before the reworked version of this trait hit the PC version of Tacticus, and I will cover the reworked version when it comes up in a later video. For now, all you need to know is that Let the Galaxy Burn in this iteration had a 50% chance to give your characters another hit against Imperial and Xenos units. Like the other 2 campaigns we currently have, our main carry is the summoner of the group. In this case, it is Archimedos. Archimedos? I don't know. Something like that. You get the point. He is a ranged unit in Psyker, whose abilities allow him to summon demons to aid in battle. Summons are critical to campaigns, since they are typically prioritized by the enemy AI and serve as a valuable distraction, and if not killed, can help to clean up the battlefield rapidly. Speaking of the battlefield, in this campaign, we face units from the Astra Militarum. This campaign's auxiliary units are Cadian Guardsmen, Cadian Las Cannon teams, and Cadian Voxcasters. All of them share the battle fatigue trait, which is a key trait to exploit to ensure that these units are dealt with quickly and will help to minimize incoming damage by getting rid of units before they can even deal said damage. When in battle, if possible, we should prioritize the elimination of the Cadian Las Cannons and Voxcasters. Las Cannons will deal a lot of damage to our units if given the chance. Their shots may need to be tanked by Angrax thanks to their ability to overwatch, and thanks to the 2-man team trait are best targeted by multi-hitters. Voxcasters' main annoyance is their ability to summon a massive amount of Cadian Guardsmen if left unchecked. Valkyrie Strike also forces you to be mindful of your surroundings, so as not to get taken by surprise by enemy artillery. Levels 1 through 14 prove trivial as usual. These levels in campaigns are always meant to ease you into the campaign and show off the new auxiliary units well. These levels can still prove tricky though, if your characters are not leveled correctly and if you don't play your units well. But as long as you have leveled your characters and used good strategy, these levels should be handled with ease. Well, as long as you can handle the mocking of the Ogren as you move along. Speaking of the Ogren, Skoden is our first boss in this campaign. He is a melee unit meant to take damage for his comrades and charge down the enemy. His active ability is Frag Bomb. Frag Bomb is a melee attack ability that deals 6 hits of 17 to 25 points of blast damage to a choice target and 3 hits of 17 to 25 points of blast damage to any unit adjacent to the target except Skoden himself. His passive is Avalanche of Muscle. Avalanche of Muscle allows Cut to deal 10 points of additional damage when charging enemies. Charging is triggered when a unit moves adjacent to a target and attacks it in melee without having started adjacent to said target. For all his taunting, Skoden proves weak against our leveled units of Chaos. In fact, the auxiliary units proved more difficult than the Ogren. As long as in turn 1 you don't move into Cut's attack range, you will be fine and can easily eliminate him before he can do any damage. After the defeat of Skoden, we move on to part 2 of the campaign. As long as your units are appropriately leveled, battles 16 through 29 also does not prove too difficult. As long as you dance around the battlefield with care and use your units to their strengths, there will be minimal problems given. There are still cases where your units will take heavy damage at this point. It is best to remember that the best spot heavily damaged units can be, especially if you have no unit capable of healing them, is always the back lines of the battlefield. Keep them as far away from potentially lethal damage is better than letting them be killed for no reason. Battle 30 sees us facing off against Sibyll Devine, a Primaris Psyker. She is a ranged unit who can deliver a burst of high damage and conceal her allies. Her active ability is Psychic Maelstrom. It allows her to do a guaranteed hit of 102 to 108 psychic damage to a target within 2 hexes. The ability has a % chance to add additional hits up to a max of 5. The dynamic is this: the first hit is guaranteed, the second hit has a 75% chance of occurring, followed by 50%, 25%, and 10% for the final hit. Her passive ability, Night Shroud, gives adjacent friendly units the Infiltrate buff and makes them take 10 less damage from each hit for their turn and the next turn. Sibyll can prove most deadly if given the chance, especially if she uses her active ability and lands all 5 hits, which at this point is more than enough damage to smoke any of my units. As long as she is taken out quickly, the second half of her passive won't come into play too much and you can clear the battle with minimal difficulty. With her defeat, I stopped progressing through this campaign for now. Within the first 30 battles of this campaign, we have acquired a lot of components our Ultramarines and Battle Sister needed to increase their ranks. After a small upgrading session, I gave Indomitus Battle 60 another shot. Remember, the last time I tried this, I was only able to clear this level with 2 medals, and my units proved just generally too weak to kill Plasmancer Thutmose reliably. This time around, we are successful. Damn it. This time we are successful in taking out Thutmose early, and we clean up his auxiliary units he had quickly, finally getting us the 3 medal clear for this battle. And as it has become somewhat tradition, I am going to end this battle on a 10 requisition pull, what will prove to be in the drop pods this time.